What's going on, everybody? Looking forward to the stream. There's a lot to get into. I posted the message on the chat already, but a lot of packs to get into. Added a huge player to the squad. I'll talk about that. But obviously, the Miami Notre Dame game, we can finally talk about some results with the Hurricanes. We could do that as well. So definitely drop in the comments below and let me know. And we'll kind of hang out for a bit, talk about the game as we're trying to build up the squad here. A lot of packs to open. I haven't been on for a while, for a few days, obviously getting ready for the game, which I'll get into as well. I'll talk a little bit about kind of my experience at the game, in addition to a little bit more thoughts, kind of having a few days to think about things a little bit more. But last time we were on the stream, I apologize, had some issues with the connection and whatnot, but we should be good to go. We should be just fine this time. I've kind of had it up and running testing for a while, so I feel good about that. Let's see here. So let's get into it here. I'll show you the big addition to the squad, and then I'll show you the packs, and then who we're trying to add to the squad, and then I'll get into the Miami Notre Dame stuff as well, for sure. Like I said, just trying to do these streams, kind of just hang out a little bit, and we can talk about whatever you guys would like to talk about. Okay, I'll show you the squad here real quick and show you the big addition. It's been one I've been talking about for a little bit now, but we finally picked up the Jeremy Shockey. Fresh faces card. He was there. I got him at, felt like a good price at $285 finally. I think it could go down a little bit more now as better cards are starting to pop up. But we can quick sell him at any point for $250, so just kind of a rental. But we add him, and actually let's look at his attributes real quick. And I felt good about our tight end position as it was anyways. We had Gronkowski running there. Actually picked up an 87 Martellus Bennett. So I thought the position was doing well. But yeah, catch 87, that's going to be good. Short route 86, medium route 86. Deep routes 82, but tight ends typical in the game. Don't usually use them going downfield. But the chemistry, I want to talk about that too, because our squad, we are actually, so picked up him, and then I haven't opened any packs. I like to hold them for streams. So you can see, kind of add to the squad together here, but looking at the lineup. So we did get that, working on that theme team here, and we're at 22. So Shockey made it 21. Then I used the other one. I went in and bought the chemistry on Max here, because I feel like, first off, there's no Miami card as a fullback, and I feel like an 85 fullback, we can kind of ride that out for a long time. So I feel like he'll stay in the lineup, and if not, he can drop down to the backup spot and it would still use as a counter. So we're trying to get to the 25, but I feel good about 22 right now with where we're at. Kind of looking at the boost. So we got the +1 acceleration at 20. That was big. And then 25, the next one's toughness. Obviously, when you get to 50, you're working on that +1 speed for everybody affected. So you can see who everyone we've used. Obviously the Miami guys, but then we kind of went ahead and got some chemistry on these other guys. Jones in the center spot, Malman, AJ Green again. AJ is one of those guys. Even if we get better receivers, he'll still kind of fit into the top 4 as it stands, with CJ Daniels taking that number 5 spot. So I feel good about that. And then defense, looking at the squad here, and just looking at some upgrade stuff. So we got to get better at cornerback and the safety spot, especially that strong safety spot. That's kind of what we'll be eyeing in the packs. D-line, feel good about that. Did pick up the Toby card and kind of slotted in at left edge, even though he's a right edge, so don't lose anything there. But Hayden Lowe's been good. Kind of show you him. He's been I feel like he's been good in packages so far. Again, all these guys are kind of boosted because we got the +2 awareness, the team chemistry card. We're sitting at an 87 overall as a team. Again, no money spent, and just kind of grinding out challenges, opening packs and whatnot. Yeah, I'll show you the card. We got a lot of packs open. I'll show you which ones we can do, and the big card that we're going to be going after. But all these locker all these lockers we've not opened because busy with the team, so I haven't had a chance to stream. Haven't had a chance to kind of go through these, but saving these rare plus, that'll be good. Picked up this odd one, the Gatorade pack. Not sure what to expect there. So again, just picking up Twitch packs every day as well. Here's the card we're looking at, and then we'll get into Miami Notre Dame. But appreciate everybody stopping by here and kind of hanging out for a little bit. All right, let's look at the new card, a new Miami card. That's why we're looking at. This is what we're eyeing in the packs. And it's the Francis Maui. No, it's an 88 champion card here. It's a nice card. We have a good, our right tackle's an 88 right now, but with our bump, we'd get Francis if we had him. He'd be like an 89 probably, but pass block power 87, pass block finesse 84, run block power 89. So really good power at that right tackle spot. But again, good looking card there. Those college kickoff cards. That's what we're hoping for. Again, all those locker packs would be good. And then kind of just looking at the rest of the catalog, these are just the ones that you could possibly get, the Miami guys. And we have Cooper, Shockey, Beck, and Hester. We don't have the Sap card. Probably won't end up getting them just because by the time we kind of built up our coin stack, we have better tackles right now. We have an 88, 89, two of the best D tackles in the game. So Sap would be like our number 3 defensive tackle, and spending 285 on it, or let's see what he is right now. If he had dipped, but he's kind of been going around that 285 mark. There's not one available, but yeah. So just spending that much on him, it's hard to justify. So, but we're hoping, more Canes get added. I think their big win against Notre Dame. They don't have a Stars of the Week card coming out, but a lot of players did well over the weekend. But I could see, just looking at this base card, Ruben Bain, I could see him getting a nice card promo coming up based on how he played. ACC Defensive Lineman of the Week, great for him. You already see Maui Noah and Cooper got their card, so I think Bain's next up. I think he'll be the next up, and we can, if he's in that 89, 90 range, we certainly want to be ready to pounce on him. Auburn's the kicker. I was kind of eyeing him for a while, but Carter Davis won the job and obviously had the huge kick. So, but Carter's not in the game on Ultimate Team. That's a little disappointing. Malachi Tony, he'd be one. He does not even have a base card. Even possible. Again, these are just the ones that are possible. Malachi Tony, it'd be great if he has the season that he looks to be on track for. Certainly, he'd be a guy we'd like to add to the squad as well. That would be a fun card to have.
Save big this Labor Day at Lowe's.
All right, let's talk about the game a little bit, and then we'll open up some packs. Just overall, I said it after the game in my recap, just such a positive thing. And a game like this, you certainly, they're not a perfect, they weren't perfect on the first game on Sunday there. But I think it's just such a great starting point with the victory. And however it happens in a game like that, got the field goal, you go a little stagnant, you give up the lead there in the fourth quarter, but they won the game. And I think you can kind of work off of that and kind of find ways to improve. And really right now, it's a build-up for the Florida game. Bethune-Cookman this week, USF, which showed some positive signs already this season, but then the Florida game. So you're kind of building up for that. That's kind of looking at it like a couple weeks season before the Florida game, and then wrapping it up, have a bye week, and get ready for ACC play. So I like how the schedule has played out. I know a lot is going to be made of those 7 games to end the regular season, conference play. But look, you got to play your games, and it is what it is. And hopefully they don't make that a distraction or make that a big talking point. But I like how it shapes up. You got 4 home games to start it out. You got the big one to start it out with Notre Dame, and then you kind of work towards the Florida. And then getting ready for Florida State. Certainly they were impressive. Had a chance to watch that game. That they were, I know their fans were excited about what they have going on. And I think from a rivalry standpoint, now you're getting 3 and 5 games to start it out. And we'll see how everything goes. It's certainly a lot of excitement. But, just how Miami played, and they never trailed. Getting out to a positive start. With getting that touchdown there, I thought that was good. I thought Carson looked good at times. I thought both of his touchdown passes were a bit risky in the sense that they looked like they were thrown up for grabs, but he lets his receivers make plays, and they did. Tony had the great catch there, and then obviously C.J. Daniels play of the day. Highly impressive. Just, he's a guy that, I talk about this all the time. Anytime your leaders have big time plays in games, I think that just really can boost your team and really help emphasize the things that he's been telling these guys. So he's been good. Mesidor had that big one as well at the end of the game. And Hakeem, I asked him today about his leadership because we're hearing so much about his leadership, what he's doing. And, he said he's just really wanted to bring in the newcomers and make them feel at home kind of thing. And look, I always say this, we don't always know the players, but it's great talking to them. And Hakeem, to me, for years, ever since he's been here, I've enjoyed my conversations with him. So I can see why he could be a leader of this team and really embracing it, and everybody's kind of pulling for him for his play, because we've seen him play well. It's been a few years where he had this really strong flashes, really putting together multiple weeks in a season, dealt with some injuries, some health stuff, but he definitely has a chance to be a very good player. It's interesting looking at his all ACC or even all conference at Big 12. He got it as a freshman, second team, and then he's been an honorable mention guy, all conference guy for 3 years. So I haven't asked him about it, but I'm sure he wants to be an all conference player and certainly wants to help. I think he will be if this team wins games. JD, what's going on? What's your thoughts on the game the other night? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I'll get into the packs. I know that's why we're kind of here to hang out, but I wanted to talk about the game. But I like some of these leaders. I think that it's important to have these seniors kind of continue to emerge. I think Francis Maui-Noa and Inez Cooper, two guys on the offensive line that can continue to lead. I think they need to have that. And I think, as they continue to play well, I think it really helps lift other players when your leaders are playing well and providing words of encouragement or criticism when needed. So I like some of the things I've been hearing with the leadership with the team, and a lot of it really is with these returning players, and I think that's good. Although the newcomers certainly are making a big hold on there, got the background on. The newcomers are making plays. All four guys that accounted for touchdowns were all new players this year. Back with the 2 touchdown passes to his new receivers. And then obviously you saw Marty Brown in there. Look, I think that, they said it, Dawson said it with the running back. Just that they were going to go running back by committee, but not just that. He thinks that the hot hand will kind of change throughout the season. And look, I like Mark Fletcher's attitude towards it. Jordan Lyle seems to be all right with it. Hopefully he can bounce back. Tough start for him. Comes out in the second quarter, doesn't come back in the game. After that, they go with the other guys, with Marty and Fletcher. And I asked Cristobal about him on Monday during our press conference. I do want to mention, so Cristobal was asked if he got any sleep after the game. There was like the last question of the press conference, and he didn't answer it, but he did tell us that he got about an hour, not even an hour of sleep after the game. So just wanted to pass that on. These guys are grinding to provide the best product they can for everybody, for the fans. But I asked Mario about Lyle, and he said, he should be okay. And, he expected him at practice this week. So we'll see. So hopefully Lyle can have a good bounce back game and kind of get it going as well. People are complaining about the play calling, but I don't know if Mario trusts his defense on the kicker. A field goal game, you win with field goals. JD, do you mean at I assume you're talking about the final drive, a little too conservative? Is that what you're referring to? As they played for a field goal there. But let's open a couple packs here. But I want to keep the discussion going. Keep the questions coming. I'm going to talk more about the game. I'll talk a little bit about my experience. Just going to share what kind of the things I do during game day, if anybody's interested in that. Let's get into these. Let's just do these basic ones. Knock out these Hail Mary packs. Again, we're looking for the Maui-Noa. Nothing here. These are probably, I'm not expecting much from these packs here. But if we can pull, hold on. If we can pull an 80 and flip it, Again, we're trying to build our coin count. Yeah, that figured. Let's see if we can get something here. If we can get 3,000 from him, that'd be great. I've got a few auctions up. We're up over 400,000, then spent the 285 on Shockey. So we're back down. So if we can kind of build it back up. Just in general, Dumb Fans, I think when we went up by 14, they got conservative. Yeah, I want to discuss this. That's a great question though, JD. Great topic. Always appreciate you jumping on. Yeah, this one we'll quick sell these guys. Basically, if it's not over 1,000, definitely quick sell, but really kind of looking for at least 2,000. Let's do one more pack, and then I want to answer these questions here. But yeah, looks like just kind of update on stream. Everything looks good on my end. Hopefully the audio is good. That Bruce card might work out well. We might be able to get 2,000-3,000 coins. This one's a much better pack here. The Watley and the 82. This is good. This is a great, just like kind of a free pack. Let's start with this one. See if we can get over 10. Yeah, it's going for 15. There's none listed. If we can get, we'll go straight 15 here. We'll do that. Yeah, this was definitely a much better pack. Solid cards. Yeah, if we can get 3,000, we'll take that.
Lowe's knows how to help you save. This Labor Day, get up to 40% off select Whirlpool laundry appliances. Plus, get an additional 20% off select Whirlpool laundry pairs that were made to match with complimentary features and styles. Save on Whirlpool laundry that was made to keep...
Turn this ad off here. Just in general, I think it's important, JD, just my general thoughts. You have to play, you have to know the score in the game, time and score, and understanding that it's all different and it varies. I think it's important for coaches to really understand that. And I know it's easy to, from afar, or maybe when you're watching the game, just keep doing what you've doing to build the lead. I just don't think that's reality sometimes. And in particular with the game, the way it was going, yeah, you would have liked more success, there in the second half and things like that. But just the way the games kind of go, and teams make adjustments too. You can't always just do exactly what you were doing earlier in the game. It's good you did, and it kind of can set you up later on. But I don't think, I feel like this all the time, whether it's Miami or just in general watching any game. I just think it's a lot easier said than done to stay, foot on the pedal. I think players need to have that mentality as far as they definitely need to try to make the most out of every play and all that stuff. I understand that. But sometimes with play calling or strategy, what you're trying to do, sometimes too, you're trying to set up things later on. And I thought as the game was going on, and it did get knotted up, but with Miami having the ball, I'll bring up the play count, or the play-by-play, but I know how it went. That first pass to Daniels, a short pass, and he kind of right in the middle of the field. I was actually field level watching that at that point in the game. I kind of came down from the press box and watched, but CJ just kind of held tight, and he kind of picked up some yards. I think he got 9 on that play. He got 9 to start it out, and then they started going to the ground game. But that third play, look, I thought it was a good play. I felt like it was a risky throw in the sense that it was downfield. Keelan beat his guy, kind of looked like a stop and go type move, and he got down there and drew the pass interference call. And I thought that was a big one. The 15 yards, you don't get the catch, but you kind of move into territory, in Notre Dame territory. So I thought that was good. That was an aggressive call. And Shannon talked about it. If you haven't watched his press conference, he did talk about it on Monday. And he said that when he was talking about the plays in that final drive, he said he had 2 plays and he kind of went with a different play. But he said he did have, he called it a conservative pass play or less risky. I forgot the exact name that he called it, but basically a high percentage throw. But he went ahead and went away from it and just decided to do something else. But yeah, he wants to be aggressive, and I thought it was fine. They played for the field goal, and I think this was interesting. Mario said it after the game. Shannon said it during the press conference. They felt very comfortable and confident in the defense. So even if you missed the field goal, they felt like they could get a stop, even though that, Notre Dame wasn't or was scoring points. So you never know how things were going to go, but they felt confident in that. I think that played a factor. You also got to remember too, JD, and just because your question, just anybody that kind of watching it, the game was tied, so they could kind of play it out. And I think that drive started with 4 minutes left. It was kind of an odd time. 3:21. So it wasn't the true 2 minute. So they did have to grind some clock a little bit, but they did a good job getting first downs, and you kind of lined it up. It was kind of like middle of the field, and drilled it. And I think too, it's important to show confidence in your team, because not just for that game, and I know it was important to win that game, but I think going throughout the season, I think showing that confidence, and now you have a kicker that feels very confident with the results that he had, and now moving forward. So I think Mario didn't talk about that, but I think that helped too. So as far as the play calling, just in general, I think it's fine. That's a good team. You can't get overly risky. You've got to avoid 3 and outs in games like that at any point during the game. So you don't want to just get your defense back out there because you throw 2 quick throws and you're incomplete and you're sitting at 3rd and 10 and can't do much with that. So I think you've got to know your opponent in addition to time and score. And I thought it was fine. Again, and I'm not trying to be overly positive. If I disagreed, obviously I would say it. I don't have any problem saying it. I just like to say what I see and think, regardless of how it comes across. But I did like how they just kind of continued to grind it out, and guys make plays. You've got to have your top guys make plays. I've talked about Ruben Bain, Mesidor, guys on offense, CJ Daniel. I mean, these guys made plays. The top guys made plays. I think that was a real positive sign. But also too, the other thing, when you go up 14 or got, thinking of going conservative, if you go super aggressive, if you get so aggressive, again, those touchdown passes, those are aggressive throws that could have been picked off. So if you're being extra aggressive and you have turnovers, and it can kind of go the other way, I just think it's very easy. It's a lot more popular to say, be aggressive, be aggressive. I even as someone like myself, I do like to attack. That's kind of how I feel about it. But I think there's time and play. You got to really just understand with where you're at in a game. Let's see. I don't know why he's crying when we won, and that kicker, Nerds hit a field goal, the biggest kick in Miami's history in the last 20 years. It was a huge kick. Unlikely Hero was the article I wrote about it. Really interesting story. He kind of shared more about it today. He started at JUCO. He said he was at Iowa State. Came back to FAU. Kept losing jobs. He kept losing the competition wherever he went. And then he wins it in an unlikely scenario, going against Auburn, a guy, Bert Auburn, who'd been the Texas kicker. Let's see, he hit it like nothing. Yeah, being bad last year and looked like he didn't even phase him. Yeah, you should ask Austin Amari in the 3rd quarter. There were 4 drives in a row. They got stopped. Yep, they both talked about it. Shannon definitely did during the press conference on Monday. I really like when the coordinators talk. I think both these guys, I thought Guidry too last year was good about explaining things and how he sees it. I always like when the coordinators do that. Press conferences with coordinators will be on Mondays every week. Carson Beck is planning on speaking tomorrow, Wednesdays for Beck throughout the season. Then Mario on Monday, just kind of like a heads up of the schedule, what to expect. JD, I guess people need to give Notre Dame credit more. They're a great defense this year. They're going to stop us. Yeah. You're not the Detroit. JD, you're not the 2024 Hurricanes either offensively. So get money. What's going on? Did we get Calvin Russell? JD, how do I see this story? Yeah, well, there's not a story written yet on Shannon, but there's the press conference is on the channel, on the YouTube channel, Inside the U, and it's right there. You can watch it. Yeah, I was just pulled up the boards. No, I haven't seen anything about Calvin Russell at this point, but yeah, he's certainly a great player. So to be one to watch for sure. All right, let's I want to show a little bit more packs here. Let's open up some. There we go. Nice. That was probably that receiver we just picked up. Actually, let's add to the coin count here. Needed to do this. Got a bunch of coins we need to go through and quick sell, get all those coins. We got down, I think it was under one, yeah, I think it was around 115 after the Shockey buy. We kind of built it up to 171. This was all today, but this will add to it as well. All this just free packs, just loading up. Let's see what we can get here. So we have 71 coin packs for 66,000, so we'll take that. There we go, 238. And then I'm going to open up those locker packs as well. And those college kickoff cards. So these are looking at the wrong thing. All right, these are the college kickoff cards we're hoping for in the locker. We need to upgrade our corners, wide receivers at this point, even though I like AJ Green. It's kind of time to get a better slot receiver, maybe a better number 2. Jeremiah would be great, obviously. And our safeties, so kind of corner, safeties, receivers, the way I'm looking at it. Number 1 goal is obviously getting this Maui Noah card. Feel pretty good at linebacker. Any of these guys would be great. Again, we're trying to get this 88 overall boost, so any of these 88 guys would be great. Yeah, the Jordan Seaton would be good at left tackle, kind of a little bit of an upgrade there. Yeah, he's got good pass block. Not great in run block, but we'll take it. We wouldn't switch this out. We need Dylan Joyce there. Dylan's a 79. We need him for the theme team there. Again, we don't need D tackles at all. We don't need running backs. So yeah, any of these, I kind of want to stay away from the 86s. We got to kind of get in these 88 range. Yeah, even this one, the Ioane card, I'd take that for sure. At the left guard spot. Bolden, I mean, these guys would be great. We're going to get at level 50, our season level's at 35. At level 50, we're going to get an 89 corner. So that's something I'll be paying attention to. But that probably won't be able to do that until a few weeks from now. Oh, yeah, JD, the kicker. Yep, I got that. I'll pull it up here. It's a free article. I'll put the link in the chat. Yeah, and Carter Davis spoke after the game on Sunday, and then today he did a Zoom with reporters, and I have that interview as well, if you want to see. He talked a little, it's kind of about the same stuff. But there's the link to the article that when he talked after the game. Yeah, today he filled in the gaps a little. He did through his journey about JUCO, and that's when he talked more about, or that's about his journey about the different stops and losing out on positions and battles. Whereas after the game, he did talk about FAU and
with Visani appliances, you get both style
everybody
and
knows he's
powerful
4 for
performance
11
all within your
winning the
budget.
job
Pick up a fridge or freezer for extra storage.
at Miami. All right, let's open this one up, see if there's anything here. All right, here we go. College kickoff. the 86 punter, it would help our overall. But again, it would kind of hurt our theme team if we benched Dylan Joyce. We'll go ahead and quick sell that. It's a B&D. I want to see what's in this Gatorade pack. Just a promo they're doing. Mountain Dew, they did one with them earlier. So got names of the game. Cam Coleman, we already have that one. Actually need to be getting rid of that one as well. Kind of knock these out. Just a couple 85s. But it's a fantasy pack, so we get to pick one. Bryce Underwood. Dual threat. I wonder, yeah, 84 speed. Harlan Berry, 85 speed. Remember him, high school with his speed. What do we do here? The Bryce. JD, which card? So you got the Dew unis on. Actually, I flipped it to Miami, and we can do some gameplay. But yeah, I still have the Mountain Dew ones. They look good. I like. We don't get. It doesn't always do it, but I like the away ones too. The all whites. They look pretty sharp. But I flipped it to Miami uniforms and Hard Rock Stadium for tonight. But we can either one. We can do either one. What do we do here? They're all going to be kind of the same. None of them would be starters. Grippa might be the backup center, but that's not as much fun. Our number 3. Yeah, we don't even need an 85 returner. We'll go with it. We'll do this. We might. No, we got Devin back there, even though he's got like a really terrible return rating. I don't need any of these, and these are B&D, which means you have to keep them. You can't really get rid of them, or you can't sell them for coins. And because they're all 85s, they're going to be the same. But we'll take that Bryce card. That does look cool. I like the card art on that one. We'll do one more. No, the B&D cards you can't sell. They're bound to your account, but you can you can quick sell them for training, and then training you can get some good packs. So yeah, you just can't sell them for coins. You can just get training out of them. We already have the Bennett card. These would be the same. I don't have the Spielman, but that would be something we probably wouldn't stay on the roster either, but something new. And I knew those were 85s. These 82 pluses, these at least would be some possibilities for some 88s. Twitch packs, I can kind of go through those. Those aren't real exciting. Big test this weekend. Yeah, definitely does. I'm looking forward to the games this weekend. Kind of continue to watch games. All right, let's get into that. Let's kind of let's see if we can get some. This is our first chance of the kickoffs here. So we don't get the kickoffs. This is nothing here. Yeah, so we get 93 training. Man, just did that one. Jamal Haynes. An 86. He might end up being a backup for us. Sammy Brown there, 83 speed. The 86 tackling is pretty good. the awareness. You get that awareness boost, 6'2", 235. That might be a good card. Yeah, and with our awareness, he might end up being 87, 88 in our line. Actually, let's go look right now. So did you have a good time at the game? Yeah, I want to get into, I wrote down some notes just to kind of talk about not just the game itself, but I was just going to kind of share. I never kind of talk about my experience if anyone's interested. What am I doing? All right, line up. I just want to see where that Sammy Brown card fits in. So we need this Matt Rose card in because it's the stars of the week. You need 2 of them in your lineup to get the other bonuses with the challenges. So that's why he's in there. And I only have, the other one's a receiver. So I don't have anyone to fill that. I need Torian for the strategy, team strategy, college kickoff. We need 2 of these guys in too. That's why Mac is there. This one was disappointing. The Bryce card, he was started as 72, a free card they gave you. And then essentially for 15 straight days, if you log in, you could get him up to an 87. I missed one of the last days, so he got stuck at 86. Yeah, Bryce, terrible at man coverage. We'll go ahead and switch it. They're similar, but yeah, that man coverage. So Sammy still says an 86. He's going to get the awareness boost. Up to an 84. So he got +2 on that. Yeah, we'll talk about the game here. My experience is interesting. So just, I think people would be surprised. So I get to the game maybe about 3 to 4 hours before a game, usually about 4. So it's just such a long day. Kind of put it in perspective, when I end up doing the instant reaction video, it was 3 in the morning. So that's how long I'm out of game. I'm one of the, it's kind of funny, one of the first ones there in terms of reporters, and then one of the last to leave kind of deal. There's a lot to get to though, and I'm used to it. There's kind of the understanding game days and content and working on stuff during the game, post-game stuff, pre-game, just kind of getting everything ready. I did enjoy it. It was good to be there. I'm just kind of separating from the game itself. So I got there early, and then about 2.5 hours before the game is when they do the hurricane walk, which is near where I sit, so it's not too bad getting over there. But it was raining at the time, so that makes it uncomfortable in the sense that, it's not going to be comfortable sitting in wet clothes the whole game. But aside from that, I'm trying to get footage and can't have the cameras getting wet. So I had a poncho or whatever, so I was able to try to get that. But about maybe 15 minutes before the team was set to arrive, it was announced that it was canceled. So the players were not going to walk, I would say a few hundred feet to get them getting in the stadium where they walk. They, around the fans, if you haven't seen it, haven't been there for it. So that was disappointing, but instead they bussed them, which made sense in the sense of them not walking in the rain. So, but I got video of them, the buses coming in, not super entertaining, but I had that up on the site for their arrivals. I always like to put the team arrival videos on the channel, even if you couldn't see the players. So that was a little disappointing, but it was okay. And then kind of just, getting down there for warm-ups, but waiting for the depth chart to be released. That was a big news before the game. Because Miami had not released its depth chart leading up to the game. And then for the pregame stuff, I did live stream pregame warm-ups. Did that for only about 30 minutes. I would have done it longer, but I wanted to get down on the field. So I cut off the stream and then went down on the field. It's great kind of being around, kind of watching the players. There's so many new guys, so I'm kind of just like learning their routines. It's fun watching how they warm up, how they get ready. Some guys are a little bit more animated in pregame stuff. Some guys are more subdued. Every player kind of gets ready for games in different ways. So it's fun watching that and kind of just the build up. A lot of recruits, tons of football recruits, obviously at the game. Watching them come in, they seemed excited. They had their cell phones and kind of the crowd was as they were coming in. So all those things were cool. First game, still years of doing this. It's fun for the first game, especially a big game like this. So that was cool. And the basketball team too. They were there. They had their football jerseys on, football jerseys. They were all grouped together doing the same thing. They were kind of with their phones out and taken in, but they were on the field before the game. So saw those guys as well. And then just kind of waiting. And then again, pregame stuff.
Save big this Labor Day.
Focused on Carson Beck. Anytime a player of that magnitude is about to play their first game at Miami, I really zero in on that footage. So I got that done and kind of watched his whole routine, very similar to what I saw with Cam last year. Just kind of the quarterback drills in general. But I will say, Cam with Carson, very calm in pregame warmups, just kind of going through it, doing his thing. But I thought it was good. It's kind of fun. He has handshakes with different guys, and it was just kind of fun kind of seeing him get ready. Then I edited that video, all the clips from pregame, got that up before the game started. Even though I know not everybody's going to focus on wanting to watch pregame stuff with the game coming up. But got that up, so that was good. And then during the game, it's kind of good seeing, had a chance to see Rudy, who David and I started Inside the U with back in 2007. So it was good chatting with Rudy a little bit there in the press box. So, and then just kind of throughout the game, kind of working on multiple content items, as I mentioned, paying attention to things I'm noticing and taking it all in. So yeah, to answer your question, JD, I did have a good time at the game, even though it was long afterwards. But that's okay. And then just kind of continuing to work afterwards. So just game days are long days for a lot of reporters, regardless of how long everybody's there. Everybody's working on content constantly. But it's okay. So it's good, and it's much better, enjoyable to work on content after wins, because after losses, I still have content to do. I still have to write articles. I still have to use quotes and ask questions and all these things. It's still the work. You still comment on what you saw. It's just different content in a way. But JD, what was your experience like on game day? Were you there? Did you watch from home? Just kind of, did you get a chance? Just what was your experience like? I always like hearing what other people's experiences like for game day. And then also curious how you felt during the game. Confident, I assume confident going in. Were you worried? Did you like what you saw early? And then kind of the waves of emotions during the game. The first game I went to was the 2017 Miami-Florida State game in Tallahassee. Never been to UM game at the Rock. Got it. Yeah, that'll be good for you, man, whenever you can make it down. I know that happens, and that's the thing too. There's fans, Miami, I'm always aware of this, Miami fans all over the country, really all over the world. So not everybody has been to Hard Rock. That's why I'm always glad to show those sights and sounds from around the stadium, or even now just kind of sharing my experience, because not everybody is at the stadium. So I definitely don't take it for granted, and I don't assume everyone's just at the game. But 2017, yeah, I remember that one. I'm going to pull that up. Is that the one? Hold on a second. I don't want to get it wrong. So 24-20, that was the one at the end. That was the Langham catch. I'm sure that was a lot of fun if that was the first one you went to. Notre Dame, Rudy. Nah, Rudy Rodriguez-Chamat. David Lake and I and Rudy started Inside the U in 2007. Rudy's not with Inside the U anymore, but he was there for the game. He's always been a big UM fan. Yeah, my first Miami game was against Florida in 2003, the Devin Hester kickoff game to start the game. Watched out of friends, but I don't know. I was a little tipsy. Did have confidence because the defense was playing well. Noticed Ruben Bain blew by the left tackle, so I thought the defense might be a problem. Yeah, and I expected the defense to have good energy coming out of the gate. You know, I think this is what's great too. I think the defense knows all of the attention or criticism or the reality of they didn't play well enough, and it cost this team last year. So the guys that returned, I think they know that. I expected them to come out. They got pride. They want to put together a much better performance, and I expected those guys to play well. Let's do some more of these. Let's knock some of these out here. Again, we're hoping for some good stuff. Jacoby Lane, I'll take that. That might be 85 at 6'4", 195. Catch 84. This is a good one here. This, at the very least, he's our number 4 receiver. See, 85 speed. He wouldn't be our number 2 because AJ Green and Perry are both 87 speeds at 6'4", 6'5". So I like the size, jumping ability, release 81. You got to have releases in the 80s at this point right now. But I do like that. Getting a couple of good packs here. That's a quick sell. I sold one of these earlier. Remember seeing Langham get that catch, and I jumped up and started screaming with 3 random Canes fan there. First game to break the 7-year streak. Yeah, that was wild, man. I already have. And for him to do it, man, this wasn't a guy that was just like this big time playmaker. He kind of went through it early on in his career. But it was such a big season with Malik and everybody, and the defense, all those guys, and big moments. And that season was such a, as you mentioned, that streak, but also just the wins. You know, they had not won big games. They hadn't they hadn't had a 10-win season since 2003. Walk-on wonders. Get a good one here? No. But we are piling up training right here. Got a couple 86s. Still looking for that Maui Noah 88 card. Yeah, that Langham did have a big catch there too. Yeah, he just kind of had those big moments, and here we go. Maybe Maui Noah? No. I can't remember what our backup center is. Starter's an 88. That might be a keeper card. Oh, I know. We have SJ. SJ's our backup center for the theme team. He's only a 79. But we won't make that switch. Trenton Castro. 6'1". We need it. That's the other thing with our corners. We got to get bigger corners. I think all 3 of our.
Here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's
we do have Ethan O'Connor in there, but the other 4 corners are all under 6 foot, so we need bigger corners. But I don't think this will... Actually, I'll just hold him. I don't think that's going to be a guy that'll make the lineup, though. We got 6 more of the small lockers. Then we get... I think we had 3 medium lockers. Yep, JD, I watched the whole thing. I actually watched it with the Florida State fans. So that was fun to kind of watch their reaction. And I assume most Florida State fans are kind of in the same boat of just not real optimistic after what happened last year, but hopeful in a sense, new season. And then just I was kind of just watching them kind of slowly get excited as the game's going on. And then kind of like the Miami... In a little bit of a way where you had the lead and Alabama kind of chipped away at it, and then you have to make plays. But yeah, I mean, Castellanos, he gives that team a lot of juice right now, and for a team that only won 2 games last year, they need that. So we'll see if they can kind of continue to use those speed guys on the edges, whether those end around type things or just get him in space. But I just think his teammates can really just rally around him. That'll be the big thing with him, is just how he can be such a playmaker back there. And he was at BC, just didn't have the spotlight on him because he was at BC. Get nervous to wait for your team to lose the game. That's what it feels like for sure, because it's not, especially when it's not trendy. It looks so good for long periods of the time, and then it's like, okay, it's literally, that's how it was with Miami. It literally looks like it could get down to it where you're not going to win this game, or the possibility that it's not going to end well. And those are the games that are most frustrating, when you feel like you're in control and you let it slip away. I don't know why they keep putting these things out. It was just all the way to the left. Now I got to come all the way over here. We got 2 more here. Hopefully, got it. All right, champion. No. We have a 86 Barber. All right, it's the last one of our small locker here. .82 corner, 6 foot. That's not going to make it. So we ran through the small lockers. We still have mediums. These rare fantasy packs. Let's kind of go back down a little bit. We have that super twitch. Don't know what to expect with this. Let's open up the season 2, so 84. I'm not expecting much, but again, hoping for 88s here. Dwayne Bowe, huge fan. .84 speed. I don't know, Phil. We kind of just need that receiver to be a little bit better, but we'll hang on to him just in case. Golden Tate. I like the card. I've been eyeing the Golden Tate, but we need him to be in like an 80, one of those 87, even 86s. Golden Tate had some crazy high school stats. I remember that when he was coming out. The Twitch packs, I'm not expecting anyone to make the lineup, but they're good to get the Twitch tokens, although they changed the amount to get a good player. We'll just kind of keep continuing to stack those tokens. Again, all you have to do, link your accounts. You get 2 free packs each day. They run Tuesday through Friday. You just have to watch for 30 minutes. You get 2 free Twitch packs, the official EA account. I just kind of have that running in the background. It's real easy to pick those up. They had a promo. I think I got 7 over the weekend, or 7 in one day or something. So that's why it boosted back up to 15. I want to do these. I want to do these rare fantasy packs. FSU and Miami would be hell. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think, you know, Miami has Florida first, but we'll see what Florida State can do to build upon what they did. If they can, what will that look like? I always say that with games. You know, we talked about even in the middle of a season, what it'll be, but teams shift, you know, as the schedule and the season goes, not just with health, guys are healthy, but just their way they're playing. And they have some build-up stuff. I mean, they're going to be favored in their next 3 games. They got East Texas A&M, Kent State. Both of those are home games. They go at Virginia. Certainly a winnable game there if they can kind of keep rolling. Can't look ahead, but they could be 4-0 going into that Miami game, and that will be they'll probably be top 10 because they're 14 right now. They have a chance to be top 10 for sure. Not because of the win quality, but just that teams will lose probably. But either way, that's going to be a exciting game for them at their stadium. In Miami, I think it'll be good in the sense that they'll play the Florida game, kind of understand the rivalry, you know, the heated rivalry, the quality opponent Notre Dame is still considered a rival. But any big cards in the Twitch packs? The Ryan Wingo, the 81 overall, that was the best one out of the Twitch packs, and he was selling. I don't know if we had him earlier today. He hadn't been putting them up. But he was going for about 15,000 on coins. So to me, that's a huge win. So that was the best one. And these are sellable cards. These are all for coins. If we want to put them up. But if they're too low like this, I just go ahead and quick sell them, get the training. So this is a good one. In 85, that's the best one, JD. You're just out if there's any big cards. So that one's there. Let's see how much we can get. If I had to guess, maybe 20, 30,000. Let's see if I'm way off. Actually, and he could be a backup for us. We have an 85 right now. You can get 1120 training. But yeah, we're going to try the coin count. Yeah, 45. So I was a little bit low on that. Yeah, that's big time. And we need to get that coin count back up. Walter Parks. I'll do it for an hour. Maybe we can sell them on stream here. But yeah, we'll just do it like this. JD with the good luck there for sure. Appreciate you. Let's follow it up with this super Twitch pack. I don't even know what this is. This was like a still same promo, but I don't know what the difference is. Oh, more cards maybe? 75, might be able to get some coins out of that. Oh, you get the super token. That's why. That's good. Hold on, let's just make sure. Yeah. Let's do a couple more Twitch packs. Chris, can reporters go to every Miami game or just ones in Florida? Yeah, no, reporters that are credentialed are fully credentialed. And it's through the University of Miami. So yeah, I can cover, I have access to all the Miami games, football, basketball, baseball. Yeah, not just the ones in Florida. I've never had any problems with credentials with opposing when they play on the road. So yeah, so that the super token that on that super Twitch pack, that's what it is. So 10 of these regular tokens are the equivalent of that super token that we just got, which is a big thing. So it kind of like skips 10 full packs. So that's kind of big time because you're looking for the super tokens at the end of it. I'll bring it up. I'll show you. I think we have, so we just sold 27. I was hoping that O lineman sold for 45, but we'll take it. All right, let's find. So this is a promo going on. That's gonna be a good card. I already got one of them already when it was an 88. It bumped up the overall. So yeah, you can kind of keep redeeming it. But what they do is, it was 31. You needed 31 of these tokens, and now they bumped it to 41. So I feel like I'm gonna keep chasing. I don't know if I'll be able to fully complete the set. There's just not enough available. But the Twitch ones. This is a Michael Crabtree card. He's gonna be a 99 overall, and you need 20 of those super tokens. And basically, so I just picked up that one. I think I have 6 or 7, maybe 8. It might be close to the equivalent of 8 once we open up those other packs. You get 1 for every pack. But if not, so this one you need 18 of them, but you get the 89 overall. And you need 20 of them there. 20, I mean, you have to wait a little bit longer, but that's such a big difference if you need 18 for an 89 and 20 for a 99. So I'm just holding them. I'm not going to jump the gun. It's a lot easier, or it'd be easy just to kind of, I think there was an 86 in here. You only needed, I don't know, it kind of comes and goes. But you needed like 7 or something. We could do that already, but I'll just wait. And on all these, I'm not gonna get any of these, even though we have enough to get any of these other ones, except for this one. Or yeah, that's great. But yeah, so we're just gonna kind of hold out right now. If we're gonna go for the Crabtree, and if we come up short, then we'll grab one of these other ones if we don't have enough. But I've been pretty consistent with it. Hope your Chiefs do good in Brazil. I got some money on them, but I got them in a big teaser +7. It's going to be exciting to watch NFL finally get going as well. Chiefs for sure. They always start the season really well. Last year was a little bit different, but yeah, they got going. It was 2 years ago when they had a couple losses in their first 4. Last year, obviously, they started 15-1. But yeah, they come out of the gate. Curious to see how it looks after what happened at the end of the season with the Super Bowl. What else do you got, JD? Do you know what else you got on in your teaser there? All right, let's do these. I'm excited about this. I'm optimistic that these rare fantasy packs. So the fantasy packs, we get an opportunity to choose, guys. Yeah, we look for receivers, corners, and safeties. We get to pick 2. 82. Another Tiki Barber. We had him for a little bit. We have the Barber. I mean, this isn't. Oh, corner. 85. 5'11". We're going to take him, though.
Lowe's knows how to help you save. This Labor Day, get up to 40% off select.
The last 2 legs, Chiefs Lions +11.5. Nice chunk of change. Gonna have to get an Inside the U membership. Yeah. I appreciate it though. I appreciate just being here, man. The support is great. You're always popping in. It's really helpful.
My hot tip, go to Metro. The iPhone 13 is on them. Wait, Metro's got it covered? Yeah, and iPhone 13 has a dual camera system. So bye-bye bad bits.
All right, here we go. No, I saw the blue helmet, so I knew it wasn't Maui Noah, but the 86. we can't keep them. We just don't have room on the lineup. We already have that Harris card. Is it stamps 6 foot? It's just 84. I mean, we just don't have. Just don't have room in the lineup. That's kind of with where we're at right now. So just the training packs to kind of flip them is about 5,000, 6,000. So just kind of a. My goodness, man. I don't gamble, so I can't relate, but I'm definitely rooting for you, and hopefully it works out well. Fresh faces. Oh, we already have that. We could definitely use the Fresh Faces Warren Sapp card if we could pull that, because I'm not going to end up buying them. It's just too much for a backup guy. Warren Sapp right here. Oh, man. It was an 86, just the wrong one. But I think this might be a guy, maybe a backup. Definitely, we already have that. Anderson's our slot guy. I really like. He's been on the roster really early. He's been one of the guys that have been on the team for a really long time. I appreciate it. So, we sold it, man. JD, right there. We sold the offensive lineman. So we just picked up. They take out some taxes, 10% or whatever, but we got about 41,000. So that's big time. Let's see if there's a JD. Let's see if you wanna use that 40,000. So we're looking at just a base card Maui. No, it's a blue. Going for 68. He'd be a backup. We couldn't start him as an 85. The Bane cards are going for about that, maybe 50, 60, I think, but there's not very many listed very often. Again, I want to hold out if I'm Bane. I think he's going to certainly has a chance for a big year, and I think he's going to end up being focused in the game. We already have Cooper, Brantley card. These are going to be around 20,000. Yep, the taxes. I was looking at this earlier. We don't have a lot of room. What about a Brockermeyer? That doesn't really help us. We need to kind of get to that 25 level for Miami. Oh, the big thing too. I was a little confused last time we did stream. But the Cooper card we pulled and the Mark Fletcher are they count as two. We're the only two Miami guys right now that count as two chemistries. And we already had the Fletcher. I was confused why it went up the way it did, and that's why. It's because when I looked at them. But yeah, like all these guys, team chemistry, these are all ones. Everybody's going to be a one. Even the top cards here. The Maui Noah is a one. The Shockey. But yeah, but the Cooper was a two, so we have him. That's a big time. And then Fletcher's a two. So that's big to have those guys in there. But I don't know where else. Maybe this is it. Maybe we could go Samson left tackle or Markel Bell. We'd have a spot there as a backup, put him in. We'd be able to gain. JD, what do you think? You want to do Markel Bell there as a backup? our theme team's at a 22 right now. He'd make it a 23. You just got us the good luck on that 40,000 coins. We have enough. We do buy it now. Someone already bidded for him. So that's an option. We have Thomas. We don't have room for receivers anymore. We have Daniels in there. We don't have room for corners. We already have O'Connor and Hester. We already have a center. Mesidor would be a downgrade. We have we're sitting at 87s right now, and they rotate. The way it works, you rotate your ends and defensive tackles quite a bit, so it's tough to put that in there. All right, we'll do Markel Bell. Let's just do that. We'll knock it out. We got some coins. And on the team chemistry, if we were to, when we flip guys, it's 25,000 coins. So essentially, this saves us in the long run in a way, 13,000 coins. 12,000. So let's go ahead and just do this. Let's get him. Let's see if we can get Halsey in there, and then look at our cornerback room before we open more packs. Yeah, I'm trying to build a Miami. Yeah, I meant to say building a Miami team. Yeah, so it's at 22 right now. I'll show you the lineup. We'll get these guys in there. It's been a little tricky. I'm just kind of waiting on the good Miami card, because basically what has happened is a lot of our players are better than the base cards for Miami, so they kind of have to slot in as backups. Like right now, right here, we'll put the Markel Bell card in. It'll be a counter at an 81. There's just not enough 87s, 88s for Miami guys just to absolutely start and be in there. But we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, so the Miami team, you can see our chemistry right here is at 23. We've already added the +1 strength, jumping, agility, acceleration. Those are good. The toughness is okay. Strength will be a good one. Jumping, another jumping, agility, acceleration, and speed. Once we get up there with those, that'll be big time. So some of these guys I've flipped over to Miami chemistry. AJ Green. I just did the fullback earlier at Max today because Miami doesn't have a fullback card. And he's an 85, so even if he goes to a backup, I think he's the second best fullback in the game right now, that 85. There's just not a lot of good ones, and I'm not going to be hunting for it. Yeah, they'll put some more cards out. Again, flip Jones over, team chemistry. I feel like the 88, again, one of the best centers, if not the best center in the game. So that'll be good. He's going to stay in there for a while. Malman, switched him a while ago when we picked him up. I don't want to do Perry, even though he's good. Perry and Anderson, these other receivers, I'm trying to get a little bit more of an upgrade there. So I've held out on the flipping their team chemistry. Jam Miller, flipped him again, 89. You get 3 spots for a halfback, so I thought that would work out well. Because again, even if you get a better running back, you can move him to the 3rd spot. And then on defense, all right, let's see. The Halsey card a little bit better than Caleb Downs. Then he gets that bump with the awareness and our other, so he's an 87 also. Halsey, yeah, so Rabbit's a little bit better in zone and man coverage. Halsey a little bit better tackler, change of direction, is a little bit better, but we'll leave Evans in there for now. What's the size? Oh, 6'1", 6 foot. But yeah, so we took out Caleb there. Yeah, the Shockey card is sick. I'd been eyeing it for so long, and I finally bought it earlier today. And he's good. He's one of the best tight ends. This is the one. There's our new card. Yeah, I don't think he's better. Was it the Thomas? Yeah, it's just not gonna... There's no spot for Thomas. But yeah, okay, let's open some more packs. I'll show you that Shockey card. It's crazy how many like 88s we're like adding up now. The Cooper, I can't believe we pulled that. The Cooper was one of the biggest pulled, and then the Glenn Dorsey, the LTD. That's the only LTD we've pulled in a pack. But then the Cooper one was obviously the one we were working on all stream, and on the very last pack pulling that was cool. Yeah, those jerseys, right, JD? Yeah, the 87 catch is big time. I like the Carson Beck card too with the green. I think that looks sharp as well. He hasn't obviously wore green yet, but that's a good looking card. A little disappointed in the card art here with Hayden Lowe in the 92, but when you play with him in the game, he's 14. I like the Devin Hester. That's from the last game, the carryover card. I definitely wanted to get that. The DJ Campbell, that was a big card we pulled, and then had to switch him to left guard. I think he's only an 85 or 86, but when we got Cooper, I wonder how much training we can get from him. 600, so that's a nice boost, but we're not gonna. It's a starter right now. It's still here. Jay, do you like those orange ones better than the white ones or the green ones during that time? How many games do you think Miami wins in the regular season if they don't have too many big injuries? Yeah, I think they're more in the. I thought they were more in the 9-win range, kind of more like 9-10, as opposed to what a lot of people think, or even right now. I mean, this is before the season. The number 5 team in the country, you would think they're going to be more in that 10-11 kind of range during the regular season. It's tough with like if they don't have big injuries. I think obviously if you have Carson goes down, that changes everything. But other injuries are just part of it. Kind of part of a season. I had my biggest question marks for this team was the offensive playmakers on the outside, on the perimeter. You saw what Malachi Tony did, and hopefully he can keep that up if they're going to count on a true freshman in that spot. They're very high on him. They've been very high on him, so that was good to see him produce. CJ Daniels, we'll see if he can make catches like that. That would be huge. He hadn't scored a touchdown since the Conference USA Championship game in 2023, and then he gets it in first game and play of the day, best play in sports. So if they get that changes things for me. I still think now Elijah Lofton only had the one catch, 15 yards. I don't think it'll be like that, but I don't think the production's going to be there at that tight end spot this season. But if they're getting production from the receiver spot and they're able to run the ball, I'm curious about the run game. I'm not down on them, but obviously they needed to get a little bit more last game, but a tough opponent. So I'm curious to see, will they, pile up those 200-yard games as a group? that'll be something to watch for. And then we talk about injuries. I mean, Miami's arguably two best defensive players are guys that have dealt with injuries, with Ruben Bain and Mesidor. And I think there's a huge drop-off with those guys compared to the next group. So they've got to be out there and be healthy, be productive throughout the season. Yeah, slightly orange. Yeah, I think all three of the orange, green and white, but yeah, I like the orange as well. I think the kind of like a low-key, like really cool thing about those uniforms is the font, is the jersey, like the number font there. I think it just seems to match really well. I remember I put those when I was doing the modding for college football. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I put those uniforms in the game. I designed them. I had fun doing all that stuff. But yeah, I had to get those uniforms in the game. I wonder if I have I need to bring it up. I have an image somewhere from when I was doing them. Or I did a video on the channel. But I did those uniforms with, the newer games. All right, where are we at? Let's open up some more packs here. All right. Let's go back to this locker. But these are 84 pluses. Yeah, USF, that's a quality opponent, or it looks like with how they played. I want to see who I forgot who they played this week. But yeah, they obviously look good in the opener. Yeah, they got the Florida game. It's this week. Why was I... But I think that'll be telling, too, of how that game looks. The one thing, too, with USF, I always think about is just that I think they're just one of those teams to pay attention to if the ACC wants to expand. So I'm always kind of paying attention, or I'm always curious how they're doing as a program. All right, let's do another one here. We got two more of these 84 pluses. I feel like we've gotten some solid 86s, but we've not gotten... I guess we did get that 85 on the Twitch pack. That's kind of the biggest pull. Oh, those are 84. Those are reward packs. All right, another last locker pack here. An 84 Thurman Thomas. I'm actually going to hold on to that because I like that card, but he's not going to be on the roster or make the lineup. That's cool though. Do I think Miami stays in the ACC? I think it's on the table that they stay. I think it's just I think it'll depend on what the ACC, the top teams do. If everyone leaves, then what does it look like? But I think as it stands, I think it's beneficial for Miami at this point right now if they can stay, because they've got to be able to win this conference. I think that's the big thing. All right, let's do these. These are different. They're called reward packs. Another blue helmet. Keep seeing that blue helmet. We need to see a different. We can't see blue.
Lowe's knows your home deserves appliances you can count on. This Labor Day, enjoy big savings on LG. Get up to 40% off, plus additional savings
There's a
on
different
select
color
major
helmet.
appliances like this.
But we can't. I don't think. Yeah, no. That's Sam linebacker spot. We're not gonna be able to get that. All right, let's. Miami going independent after winning what? Yeah, it'll just be interesting. I don't see that happening. I just think Miami. It's important for them to win this conference. And I do think, I mean, certainly they're in the running for it this year. All right, we got a fantasy pack here. Get a couple. All right, here we go. An 88, we will take that. Although it's not a position of need. But that's we already have that one. We've pulled like 3 or 4 Tiki Barber cards tonight. So yeah, we will, we get to pick 2. Those 88 tackling, bull rush, 6-3-2. What's his pass rush? Pass moves aren't great. That's okay. Well, that's still, we will definitely take that. We'll sell the Ioane card. Ioane. The right edge spot, we've got Shelby there, and then we have Hayden Lowe backing him up. So maybe we'll switch him to left edge. I don't know I don't remember. Did we do rare plus or rare fantasy? We'll do these here. All right, here we go. Justin Harrington, we will take that. That's probably our starter. That's probably, yeah, he's probably going to be our starter there, our strong safety, because the other guy was at 85. He might get that 87 boost after our blue card. Dylan Hazen. And an 86, another Jacoby Lane. I think that's the exact card we had. Wasn't it an 86? But we'll take the 86 this year. And we'll do another. We'll open both of these. Kind of going back. We already have that one, but that's been a good card for us. Just kind of boosts overall. He doesn't play much, but we don't run a lot of I formation. All right, this will be our last pack that we'll open. Actually, let's save it. It's a good one. We'll do 2 Twitch packs here. We'll get it down to 10. Want to save some packs for next time. Green card, 75. That's probably nothing. Yes, another green. Cormani McLean. 75 speed. That is not going to work out. All right, we'll save those other packs. Let's see if we can get Harrington in there, strong safety. So upgrade on speed with Harrington. Zone coverage goes down a little bit. Man coverage much better. Better tackler. Change direction. 78s. That's disappointing. A little better acceleration. And then he'll get the awareness boost. So he goes +2 on awareness now that he's in the lineup. So he's still an 86 overall, but a little bit better there over Walters. And Harrington's 6'3", so that's good. We don't have much size there in the back. JD, I held on to him. Should I quick sell him? I was trying to see where we're at with our corners. The reason why I have Harris still starting, I didn't like some of the attributes with Johnson, even though he's an 87 overall. His man coverage is only a 79. I didn't like that. So we got Harris still there, but yeah, so Johnson's 5'11", Scott 5'11", Hester 5'11", Chris Harris 5'10". Ethan's 6'1", but he's our number 5 corner. So we've got to find a way to get a little bit more size there. So yeah, we pick up Harrington in the packs. Let's see if we can flip. Yeah, we can go Joseph's here. He's a better tackler, block shedding is better, not as much speed, acceleration the same. Awareness 85, but yeah, he'll go up to an 87. He might be an 89 card. Let's see. Yeah, we'll shift these guys down. Yep, so yeah, Joseph's, that's the big pull. He's now an 89. So our D-line is looking really good here. With our D tackles, 89, got 88. Joseph's and Shelby on the edges there. So picking up the Joseph card, the Harrington card, so picked up 2 starters on defense. Policy, new backup. On offense, nothing big. Couldn't really do much with the receiver spot. I'll look at, yeah, we can. I just think Anderson's been really solid. We do pick up, we doubled up Lane. I thought it was the same card, 86s. So maybe in the slot he'd be better because it's like, yeah, he's just better at short and medium. He's also 6'4", same speed. Let's go ahead and do that. And actually, Anderson's actually an 85. But yeah, he's got the boost, just like Lane got. So we need Daniels in there. We need Henry in there for the Stars of the Week promo they got going on. So we got it. That's why he's still in there. Nick Anderson, kind of a sad day. He's been a big time guy for us. So we didn't pull the Maui Noah card, but we did pick up Markel Bell. Team up to 23, and then we bought Shockey earlier today. So that was a big stuff. But Jacoby Lane again, we're going 6'4", 6'4", 6'5" with our top 3 receivers. Only an 85 speed there, but not worried about it. Cormani's a good kid. I always like being around Cormani during the recruiting stage, and definitely that video I put together of him at the Under Armour is one of the biggest videos I've ever had on the channel. So shout out Cormani. I wonder what it's at. I haven't looked at it in a long time. Yeah, so it's at over 100,000 views, so that's cool. But yeah, I always enjoy it. So we'll see. I mean, guys go through different journeys when they get to college. I'm going to do a quick, I say quick, it's already been a long stream, but I'm going to do it one game here. I need to knock out this names of the game. Play 15 games. Need some touchdowns. So tomorrow with Wednesday, they're going to drop the new Stars of the Week. But I already did my weeklies there, so that'll get reset. A lot of these are head-to-head stuff. I need to get to it. I keep talking about doing head-to-head, and I am slacking with doing it. But I know it'd be better for the stream too. But I feel like we're getting our squad. I think the big thing was getting the squad to a point where it could be competitive, and I definitely feel good about it. All right, let's knock this out. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna do this because you get another small locker, and I'm gonna try and knock this out. It's gonna go away in a few days. Still be optimistic about grabbing the Maui. No, we're still gonna chase it, so I'm just gonna do this instead. So this will be not really competitive, even if I'm not doing everything right. But the teams just kind of powers through these kinds of games. So there's Harrington there. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate you, JD, for being here. But appreciate everybody kind of jumping in on the stream here. Let's see if we can get Shockey a pass out of the gate here. Yeah, I said it wasn't going to be much, but we'll play it out here. We can talk about the game too. We can talk more about Miami Notre Dame as I'm playing here. I don't have to lock in or anything. What haven't we talked about? Yeah, Carter Davis, definitely never give up, man. You know, I was thinking too, just that the coaches decided to go with him is pretty, you know, it wasn't the easy decision when you look at their career resumes. One kid's 4 for 11 in field goals in his career, and then Burt Auburn, 66 out of 86 from Texas, compared to the FAU guy that didn't really win it or didn't win a job. So, but they did, and he delivered, man. And we'll see how he does moving forward. And you know, I know they had that miscue with the field goal operation, but that's I think that's going to be a little bit of a rarity. To me, Dylan Joyce is a guy that they really like as a holder, to the point where they feel like.
What about that fake camera you set up? And will someone finally find your old hide a key rock?
Let's try and turn the ad
stuff
off
is
here.
safe-ish, but ADT.
Like they think he's like a really above average holder with what he does. So I wouldn't expect that as long as they get the snap. Oh, they're going to go to the back. I think they'll be fine there. So I wouldn't expect that to be an issue throughout the season. The thing about what Carter always had going for him, and this is what he was known for. I was going for a big hit stick with. He had a big leg, and like everyone acknowledged that. And at one point, you know, that was very obvious to them. to the staff as they were going through the battle. I know that was a thing for them. So if he just was like more consistent, you know, and he could hit from longer range, coach mentioned. Let's see if we get a Justin Scott play. I'm getting worked here. Or he missed it. Then he made a couple 63-yarders the other day during fall camp. So I think as long as the consistency was there to go with the big leg, I think there's Shelby. It just kind of really helped his case for sure. You know, one thing that stood out to me, I want to pull this up on Pro Football Focus with their grades. And I had posted the snap count. It's for everybody. But one of the things that stood out to me, actually, hold on. Let's get Fletcher in here. I think I still had Jam Miller in. With Mohamed Torre on his Pro Football Focus grade, I'm looking at it right now, he's at 52.7, which is pretty low, kind of below average in that mark. And that was the 22 defensive players. That was the third lowest. But he had good run defense at 78.6, which is actually the second highest on the team. Not great in tackling or pass rush, and then just wasn't good in coverage according to the Pro Football Focus grades. So I'll be curious to see how he kind of does moving forward. They need him to play and play well. He got 41 snaps in the game. Oh, we got nothing. But just, I think the linebacker spot is going to be a big point for this team. You know, they got to get better play there, and kind of just have to make sure that they're on point, especially as they continue to play good opponents. But same with the 43 snaps, 68.5 grade. Popo, 23 snaps, 69.1. He also had the 6 tackles, which the 6 tackles tied for the lead with Ruben Bain, even though he only played the 23 snaps. Ruben Bain had 48 snaps, different positions obviously, but just kind of shows you the impact that Popo had when he was in there. And then I think the thing that stood out to me too with Bryce Fitzgerald, you know, to be able to come in, we're going to hit Shockey here. All right, we're going to do that again. Fitzgerald coming in the summer. And then just being able to earn a spot there and play. I'm trying to feed Shockey. He played 9 snaps. He played 9 snaps, had a 74.2 grade. Good tackling, good coverage, both around 75 on both of those. We dropped it. Oh, that was a terrible sequence. But yeah, I think he's going to be someone, because if they're willing to give him 9 in the opener there, I think that could that'll be something to watch for moving forward with him. You know, Dylan Day got in there as well, but he only played 5, and then also, you know, Jacoby Thomas played 5, and that Jacoby and, you know, Poyser were the main guys, both over 50 snaps. But I just think kind of paying attention to Bryce of being a guy, if he can kind of build off that, make plays, kind of get more and more comfortable. I think that'll be big for him. And then Keontae Scott, I wasn't surprised. I thought he was going to be a big part, and I think it'll be throughout the season. Just a big part for this defense, the way he plays and the role he plays, and just kind of knowing Heatherman's defense. I thought Scott was going to go in the back. I thought he'd be a big point for the defense. And he played the most snaps of anyone on defense in the game, 59. He had a good run defense grade, but not a good tackling grade. There's Harrington. that was a nice play. Harrington's not even the main returner. I don't know what he was doing over there. All right, we need to get a touchdown here. I don't know what happened on that last offensive drive. I'm looking at the stats. I really didn't think this was going to be much of a game here. Now we can hit Shockey. Oh, it's still not throwing deep. Oh, that's a good catch. Why did he catch the last one on the first down? That would have been a lot easier than this one. We're going to go to the near side here. Nah, we'll put Shockey over here. Let's do some easy stuff with Shockey. Should we do it from here? We got to get Shockey the touchdowns here. New guy to the squad today. We're going to see if we can get all the touchdowns with him. I'm going to pull up the Ruben Bain. You said where Miami's edge rushers stack up for with the rest of the country. Ruben Bain had a 92 grade. I'm curious to see where that grade ranks nationally. Just in terms of like actual data there. But yeah, shout out Ruben, ACC Defensive Lineman of the Week. So in terms of, I sorted by edge rushers in the country who had the highest grade, defensive grade. That's just like overall defense. I kind of break it down. We're gonna try and get the ball back here. So Ruben ranks 5th nationally with a 92.6 grade. Cameron Stewart, Temple is number 1. Stephen Solis Jr., Kentucky. Danny Dennis, at Penn State. Harper Holloman at Western Kentucky. He's played 2 games and he has a 93 grade. All those other guys have played 1. Oh, I keep trying to do hit stick. Should just go for the tackle. They wanted to do hurry up, but I don't trust them. That's funny. That angle right now, that's about where I sit at the games. Like right there at that corner. That's funny. Oh, I was looking at stats. Oh, we stopped him. So I sorted by the run defense grade. And Ruben Bain is 2nd nationally with a 90.7. And yeah, Dennis Sutton out of Penn State is number 1. Pass rush. Oh, there's a lot of guys in the 90s or 80s, 90s. Let's see if we can get something going for Devin. Nope. The other thing, I know that grade. All right, actually, let's find a play for Shockey here. Can we hit Shockey on this wheel route and get Anderson out of there? Anderson staying in the lineup, I like it. There we go. We probably didn't need to do. I didn't mean to do hurry up. What's a Shockey? Well, we'll just send him here. Let's get Fletcher out of there. I should let that play develop. All right. We gotta hurry here. I don't want to spike it. I remember, so for years, and I did it last year, but when former Miami players would come back as NFL players to play the Dolphins, I would often cover those games, get a credential, go to the game, interview those guys, and I did that with Shockey. Shockey was the guy that I did that with when he was with, well, he was with the Saints, I think. But it's always good talking to those guys. During that time, I mean, there were some of the biggest names in the NFL, those former Miami guys. All right, JD, I got to lock in on the chat. I'm kind of drifting off on this game. What do we got here?
My name is Maria. Okay, I lied. It's Mary.
Run great is
but
huge
I'm
for Grady.
feeling
Bust
more
on that one
European
play.
after my European
You know,
holiday on MSC Cruises.
yeah, I had to watch that play over again because where I was at, I was already kind of down on the field.
Like a sports bar and
I'm kind of getting ready for post-game stuff, but
okay,
I watched that one back.
Now and save up to 40% off, plus kid sale free.
Yeah, and I think, and that's what Coach said, just kind of a bust there. But that, you can't, you know, I think everyone understands busted plays, but it can't be at that moment in the game, and it can't be for that many yards. You know, busts and stuff happen. But that was such a huge play that could have cost them the game, really.
On September 5th, we fought with him. Celebrate the 10-year anniversary.
I died for him.
Of the Tony, Emmy, Grammy, and Pulitzer Prize winning.
The one thing, yeah, JD, that I just kind of listed off, so there were obviously better defensive grades. I don't know what exactly they were talking about, but one thing too that I've noticed with PFF grades when I go back and look, they kind of get altered throughout the day. I don't know if they have like an initial run. Whoa, Carson. But yeah, I don't know if that's what it was. But I will say, like, if you see it printed somewhere and then you hear a different number by us or anybody or whoever, it would be because of that. That they literally do adjust them. Oh, we got 3 seconds. Let's try to hit Shockey over the middle. Come on. Oh. They should decline that. Do double digs here. I probably should just do the play actions. Get out of there, Shockey. What are we doing? Hold on. I'll show you what. Okay, that looks bad on my part, but I'm only trying to throw Shockey. And watch him, like, not get off of. What are we doing? Get off of that. Oh, I threw off the timing. Guy's not even trying to do anything to Shockey. Just. That is crazy how they're lined up. They have no one on the left guard. All right. 3rd and 23. All right, we'll just go to our butter play here. Shockey might not get this one. We might have to go for the first down. Because we might have to go AJ Green here. All right, but we got to get Shockey the touchdown. Let's see. With McCarron 7th grade, Debane with Myles Garrett, Michael Parsons, I think, and Harold Perkins. Yeah, definitely let me know. Maybe I can look it up too. That's interesting. I haven't seen that. I always wondered how they do the grades if they don't know the play calls. Yeah, I think they just try their best. I remember years ago, so before I was writing and being a reporter, I used to work for Stats, at that time Stats Inc., Stats LLC, and I used to do I'd watch game film and do reports and things like this, kind of like the things that are like more common with analytics and scouting and things like that. I used to do that a long time ago, kind of when it was first coming up. What I could say is like, yeah, you try your best. I don't know exactly their process with things, but I know how it kind of works, in that you try your best and you try to guess. But I would say, once you start doing a bunch of games, you have the eyes for it. Once you kind of like know what you're looking for in terms of either comparison or what would be considered a good grade for someone, I think that would be the thing. But yeah, you got to take it for a grain of salt. But it's the one thing I will say, it's what we have for data, actually tangible data on essentially subjective matters. Because like you're right, yeah, you don't know exactly, and then also it's kind of the eye of what you see. Oh, we should have had that, but I was kind of out of position running around. But, you know, and even like the UM coaches or whoever, they might want to, or just coaches in general might say, oh, it's not what we go by kind of thing. But we are certainly open to the coaches sharing us their grades on what they go by, what they count. But they typically don't want to release that. So that's what we have. We have PFF, and glad we have it. And continue to do it. I really like it for the snap counts. I remember I used to do that manually for the site, of actually watching the whole game and pausing on every play. Oh, I don't know who I'm throwing to. It's different. I'm trying to lock in on Shockey, and then when it's not a good idea, I didn't know where else to throw. We're still going to go Shockey here. We'll see if we can get him upfield after this run and catch. We did not want to throw it high. That's okay. We can get a first down here. The thing too, and this is kind of what you're hoping in terms of kind of going with PFF, just is that, geez, what happened to our line? We're going for it. Whoever's scoring, you know, I don't like that play. For a 4th and 4, this isn't a great play because I'm kind of going deep here. I guess I can go in. Hold on. I'll go Gronk if I gotta get the first down. Yeah, we'll just do Gronk. Felt like that Shockey thing was a little too risky. I want this play to work. Sometimes the tight end, so Shockey's route, sometimes he gets over to way too far to the left if he doesn't run the right route, or he gets knocked off the route. It's kind of a weird route. Yeah, it doesn't. It was covered again. Oh, what I was trying to say is, whoever was doing the PFF grades, hopefully they're kind of doing the same team multiple times, so they understand what they're watching and who the guys are. Because you get familiar with the team that way. Let's see if we can get Shockey on a touchdown here, huh? If AJ Green can kind of hold the linebackers. Oh, he's running with them. 45 yards. How can we get a 45-yard play for I don't know if this is gonna work. So Shockey's gonna go across the line there to the left side and then up the seam there. Let's see how this works. There's nobody. The safety's gonna run with them. Yeah, right there. By the way, okay, we gotta watch this again. I've noticed this sometimes, this glitch in the game. Will they replay the penalty? No. Alright. Let's try this again. Yeah. Alright, look at the big guy. Okay, see the slot? We have 4 and their guy, not the corner guarding him, but the one right behind him. That's an offensive lineman. He's wearing 64. That second nickel guy, and I don't know why it glitches like that. Like they have a offensive lineman back there in the secondary sometimes. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's not we just got to get a first down here. Is he out there again? Yeah, look at him. He's guarding the same spot. He's in that. We got to get a first down, then we'll worry about attacking that guy. Might go AJ Green here. Yep. AJ Green has been huge for us. We needed that upgrade to have a number 1 receiver, but he's been really good. All right, Shockey. Let's get him on the post. Let's see if this will work. Kinda, yeah. Oh, there we go. Did that aggressive catch. I wish he would just shoot it. I don't like that celebration. You like all your stat research? How do you drop that? Kick it with Carter Davis from the 60. There was a challenge in here. You had to kick a 50-yard field goal, and the bar just goes really fast. It took me a couple times. My kicker's not that good. But sometimes those, and you want to, when you have those challenges, you want to do it like right at the 50. Or like a 50, you take a 51 yarder or something, but you have to like get to the right yard marker, the yard line, and then you want to be like down the middle as much as possible. We're gonna get another touchdown for Shockey. He's got 5 of them right now. Stick. Oh, I keep whiffing them. All right, we're gonna try to get a sack with Hayden Lowe here. Yeah, see how he has 14? I was talking about earlier. The card art has him at 92.
I can't believe you scored tickets to this.
I feel like Joseph's hasn't been. The new guy
T-Mobile, I thought, why not splurge?
There she is.
Nadi, can we get a picture?
Of course. Wow, that's a nice
Harrington.
picture.
Yeah, he does look big out there.
25 plus takes awesome selfies.
Tag me and I'll follow you.
Get a new Samsung.
Let me pull up the PFF. Our defense will hold him. All right, here we go. Let's just going back to the offense. So for the offensive grades, Malachi Tony had the highest offensive grade as 76. Not really surprising, given that he had the high stat production. A little surprised that Carson Beck was as low as it was, 64.6. I want to look at his 2024, kind of just in comparison. So last year, he had an 81 season rating, a season grade, and then 2 years ago, in 2023, it was a 91. So the 64.6, again, you got to factor in quality opponent and the whole thing. Yeah, he had that middle stretch that wasn't great, or wasn't good last year. So 7 of his games last year, he had more than a 64. All right, we're hitting Shockey here. Safety. Yeah, that's an offensive lineman. Oh, I mean, look at him. We gotta watch it. We gotta watch him on that play. That's the only reason why he caught that in traffic like that. That wasn't a great ball. Oh, we don't want to do that. Look at my man out here. And it's like the legit offensive lineman. It's not just like, because he'll flip and play offense. I don't know why it glitches like this. It's not just this team. Like, it does it in the game. This guy's out here playing safety. Shockey's coming at him. Go make a play. Ooh. Oh, look at Shockey. If I made a thumbnail of this, it would look ridiculous. Like, why is the center guarding Jeremy Shockey? At what moment, at what point in a game would this ever happen? This one. Boom. You think he's upset? He's like, I should have had that. I can't believe I missed it. Oh. I want to look at this guy's ratings here. Is he the center? Looking for, yeah, Jacob Rizzi here. The Rizzler. What's his catch rating? What's his coverage rating? There we go. Man coverage, zone coverage. .48 catching. All right, let's get a touchdown here. Then we're gonna put the pressure on him and see if we can get one more score and get a 50-pointer or a Shockey. All right. Yeah, we'll do this one quick and then get him in the end zone afterwards. If this doesn't work, that's not gonna work. Carson, run! Oh my goodness. That was such a bad throw. We got to go for the end zone. I don't like these seam routes because you can just get covered up so much. All right, we'll try to get one with Shockey. We're just going to do that same play. Travis Hunter played both ways. Yeah. And when you see the Rizzler, they look very similar. I can see why. I can see why he's got the center safety build. Yeah, unlucky 6'4". Next time. All right, we got 16 seconds. Can we... I kind of messed up that drive for sure. We're going to go 3 timeouts or try to do hit stick on the kickoff. We're going to try to do what we can. We're going to turn up the heat, lock in here, see if we can get a score, and go for 2, get the 50. Ooh. Will they run it or throw? We need a blitz. I don't know what we're doing. Could just let him score. Last play. Can we get a pick 6? Throw it. D-line's too good. JD, what was crazy with that run was like he got real like he couldn't get out of the blocks. Like I couldn't move with him. Did look like a deer on ice. It's just like falling and flailing around. I wonder if I could watch that again. Wasn't good. All right, get out. We just gotta hold on. Could I have even hit anything? Did I miss my reads? I'm kind of just locking in on Shockey, but I don't think anyone was really. Was Shockey? I'm on left hash. I guess he kind of got open eventually. I could always. Got 4s everywhere out there. I have 3 number 4s. Fletcher, Anderson, and Perry. And AJ Green didn't even get. So, yeah. All right, let's watch this in real speed. Get out there. That little, like right there, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, you just couldn't. That's all right. We had some nice plays. Just fed Shockey all game. The 337, 12 catches. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. JD, the thing is too with Carson, what I've noticed is like his throwing motion is a little hard to get used to too. And I switch between quarterbacks because Francis has a higher rating, so sometimes I use him for different challenges, and he's got like better accuracy ratings, and I can tell the difference. But it's more the throwing motion. It just feels a little awkward. Make sure there's no rush packs just sitting in here. But yeah, I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, I didn't realize I took the sound off. I keep flipping it off when there's ads. But definitely appreciate it. JD, definitely fun talking. Pushed him over. I know. It wasn't a good look. It was... I don't like to lock in like that on receivers because then it looks... if I don't have anywhere to go to it, it looks bad like that. But yeah, JD, definitely, I'll just kind of pay attention. I don't have a regular schedule, but it'll be 10:30 whenever I start these, 10:30 Eastern, and kind of just depends on the day, depends on the workload, and but I like doing this. And we went through a lot of packs today, so that was cool. Got some starters, got to get into head-to-head stuff, kind of grind there as well. But I like our squad. We got to find a way to get that Maui Noah card, get that CC card. But I like where we're at with the squad, 87 overall. We'll keep grinding. All right, appreciate everybody. Definitely, again, Carson Talks tomorrow, the media, late morning, and so I'll have that up, interview up, and then other players as well. but yeah, kind of keep this thing going. Definitely appreciate it. I'm sure everyone's excited, should be excited about this team. They got the result. JD, I know you mentioned earlier, people kind of complaining. They got to get better, but it's a great start. It's what exactly you wanted, something to build on. So many new players, new quarterback, new defensive system, and they got to keep getting better. So, but yeah, appreciate everybody. Take care, JD.